had spent 2 decades bowing before cold, lifeless idols, whispering prayers to stone faces that never blinked, never answered, and never loved me back. My hands trembled as I lit candles in front of them, trying to hide the void that had eaten away at my soul. I told people I was at peace, but inside I was a hollow woman, drowning in shame and secret despair. The rituals had become my chains, and yet I clung to them, convinced that turning away would unleash curses on me. One evening, my chest tightened so fiercely that I thought my heart would burst. I collapsed to the floor, clutching at the air as if I could grab one more breath. Darkness closed in. The idols around me stared with empty eyes, and for the first time I felt terror that they could not save me. My heart stopped, and in that silence, the truth came rushing toward me. Before I continue, let me pause to appreciate you, my dear viewers. Thank you so much for subscribing to this channel. If you are new here, welcome, and a very big thank you to those who return to listen to these testimonies. I truly cannot wait for you to hit that subscribe button because it is the fuel and energy that keeps this channel alive. Do not forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below as we share and grow together in faith. Now, let me take you deeper into my story. My name is Amber, and I am from the quiet state of Maine. The year was 1981 when everything started. I was only 18 years old, restless, wounded, and searching for meaning in life. My father was a strict man who carried more anger than affection, and my mother tried her best to keep peace in the house. But for me, home never felt safe. I grew up with the constant feeling that I was never enough, never loved the way I wanted. When I left home, I was drawn to a group of friends who introduced me to idols and rituals. They promised me peace, power, and control over my own destiny. At first, I was hesitant, but the pull of belonging was stronger than the voice of conscience. By 20, I was fully immersed in idol worship. Every morning I would bow, every night I would chant. I built altars, burned incense, and offered prayers that echoed into nothingness. I told myself I was in control, but deep down, I was enslaved. I carried bitterness in my heart. I envied others who seemed free, happy, and light. I told myself that the God of the Bible was distant, powerless, and uninterested in my pain. I mocked Christians who spoke of salvation in Jesus Christ because I believed I had already found my truth in stone idols. But inside, loneliness grew like a storm. I had no true joy, no lasting peace. There were nights I lay awake in tears, asking the darkness, why do I feel so empty if these idols are real? I pushed the thought aside, burying it under more rituals, more chanting, more offerings. For 20 years, I lived that way. I became a woman with a hard shell, proud and stubborn. Outwardly, I looked strong. Inwardly, I was withering. And then, at 62 years old, the night came when my heart gave way and death wrapped its fingers around me. What happened next shattered everything I thought I knew about life, death, and eternity. When my heart stopped, it was as if the world around me collapsed into silence. No sound of ticking clocks, no hum of electricity, not even the faint creak of the wooden floor beneath me. I felt myself lifting, leaving my body behind, and for a brief moment, I thought I was free. But then, the air grew heavy, thick with a stench that burned my nostrils. I opened my eyes and found myself standing in a vast darkness. The ground beneath my feet was not earth, but something alive, breathing, pulsing, as if it were feeding on my fear. From the distance came the first sound, a scream so sharp it cut through me like glass, then another, and another. Thousands of voices shrieking in endless agony. I tried to run, but my legs would not move. My body felt paralyzed by a terror deeper than anything I had ever known. Shapes emerged from the shadows, grotesque beings with twisted faces, eyes glowing like coals, and claws that dragged against the burning ground. They laughed, their voices mocking, echoing like iron scraping against stone. One hissed, "You served us. You belong to us." The heat rose, flames shot up in the distance, revealing rivers of fire and souls writhing inside them. Their cries were not only of pain, but of regret. I could hear their words as if they were etched into my mind. Why did I not listen? Why did I not repent? Each voice tore at me, reminding me of every time I mocked Christians, every prayer I whispered to idols, every chance I ignored to seek God. The smell was unbearable, sulfur, burning flesh, and something fouler than words can hold. My chest tightened, though I had no lungs, as if the very air wanted to crush me. Fear wrapped itself around me like chains. I knew, without anyone telling me, that this was hell. But then, something worse happened. From the ground rose hands, blackened, skeletal hands that tried to pull me down into the flames. My soul screamed as I resisted, but I had no strength. I remembered my idols, my chants, my offerings, and in that moment, I saw how powerless they were. The stone faces I bowed to could not follow me here. They had no voice, no arms, no mercy. I was utterly alone. A demon stepped forward, taller than the rest, with wings torn and eyes that pierced through me. It whispered, "You wasted 62 years. You will waste eternity here." The words echoed until my very being felt shattered. And just when I thought it was the end, a light broke through the darkness. It started faint, like a star far away. Then it grew brighter until it swallowed everything around me. The screams faded, the hands released me, and the demon shrank back, hissing and clawing at the air. I felt warmth for the first time. Warmth not from fire, but from love. Then came the voice. It was not thunderous, but it shook every part of me. It said, "Amber, I am not done with you yet. Go back and tell them the truth. Go back and warn them. My mercy is greater than your rebellion." In that moment, I wept, not with tears of flesh, but with the soul itself. Every wall of pride, every chain of bitterness, every lie I believed about God fell away. I wanted to stay in that light forever, but the voice said again, "Your time has not come." Suddenly, I gasped. Air filled my lungs. My eyes opened to the dim light of my living room. I was back in my body, lying on the cold floor, drenched in sweat. My chest burned with every breath, but I was alive. I clutched my chest and whispered, "Jesus, forgive me." The idols around me seemed smaller now, powerless and dead, and I knew then that my life would never be the same. When I opened my eyes that night on the living room floor, I knew the life I had lived for more than 20 years was over. The idols that once filled my shelves and corners, the stones I had bowed to with trembling fear, now looked like nothing more than lifeless rocks. They had stared at me while I was dying, offering no help, no hope, no mercy. But Jesus Christ had reached into hell itself to bring me back. The first thing I did with trembling hands was sweep every idol off my shelves. I dragged them outside into the cold Maine night and smashed them on the pavement. The sound of breaking stone rang like freedom in my ears. For the first time, I did not feel fear of curses or punishment. I felt peace, a peace I had never known in all my years of bowing to stone. In the days that followed, I could not stop thinking about that voice in the light. My mercy is greater than your rebellion. Those words sank deeper into me than any chant or ritual ever had. I bought a Bible and began to read. At first, I was afraid the words would condemn me, but instead they wrapped around me like a blanket. Every page seemed to whisper, "You were lost, but now you are found." My personality began to change. The pride that once kept me hard and distant started to crack.
I found myself weeping for no reason, especially when I thought about how many years I wasted. I called my younger sister, whom I had not spoken to in almost a decade because of bitterness. With a shaky voice, I said, "I am sorry. Please forgive me." For a long moment, there was silence, and then she said, "Amber, I have been praying for you all these years." Her words broke me. I realized I had been blind to the prayers that had covered me, even while I was bowing to stone. I joined a small church in town. The first time I stepped inside, I sat in the back pew, trembling like a child. I expected stares, maybe even rejection, but instead, people smiled and welcomed me. The songs, the prayers, the scriptures, all of it felt alive. I had spent 20 years speaking to idols that never spoke back, but here I felt the living presence of God. Slowly, my habits changed. I stopped clinging to charms and rituals. I began to pray, not to stone, but to the living God. And every time I prayed, I felt Him listening. I forgave people I had held grudges against for years. I began to share my story, trembling but honest, because I could not keep it inside me. If I had died that night, I would have been lost forever. But God's mercy pulled me back, not so that I could stay silent, but so that I could warn others. And so, dear listener, let me speak to you directly. Hell is real. I saw it. I heard the screams. I felt the terror. I smelled the burning. No idol, no ritual, no false comfort will save you when death comes. Only Jesus Christ can. I am living proof that His mercy is greater than 20 years of rebellion. I want you to remember this. Idols made of stone cannot save you when the fire is real. The mercy of God is greater than the rebellion of man. If you are listening to this, it is not too late. Repent. Call on His name. Take holiness seriously, because eternity is only a heartbeat away. Now, I want to ask you, my dear viewers, do you believe that idols can give peace? Or do you believe true peace comes only from Jesus Christ? And what would you do if today was your last breath? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice matters. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel because it helps this message reach more people who need to hear it before it is too late. Let us spread the light together, because one day, every idol will crumble, but Christ remains forever.